This is Brevard Watch, the news experience focused exclusively on Florida's Space Coast. The headlines with me today is School Board Chairman John Craig. In his private life, he is a parent, an airline pilot, and a retired Navy man. Publicly, he represents Central Brevard on the school board, including Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, Cocoa, and Merritt Island. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you for joining us in the studio here.
Oh, absolutely.
You're the first school board member. I think we're going to ask about a most recent headline with BPS, and that is its agreement with the Brevard Federation of Teachers. It settles a fairly contentious bargaining period. The agreement is for teachers to get a raise of $875 per year if they have been rated highly effective on their evaluations, and $600 if they were rated effective on their evaluations, plus a $200 bonus one time from the district. What is your take on this, and how do you square compensating staff at BPS with some of the other budget priorities that the board is pursuing?
Well, thanks for asking that, Matt. Several questions in there, so I'll try and step through it what's logical in my mind, and hopefully it'll make sense. First and foremost, the collaborative effort between the board's negotiating team, the superintendent, BFT leadership, their negotiating team, was evident throughout this entire process. And yes, it became somewhat contentious at times, and rightfully so, when it comes to money and to salaries and compensation. It always can become contentious, and we understand that. But I think in the long run, we all were on the same page where we want to provide the absolute best benefit package and working environment for not only our teachers but our entire staff here at Brevard Public Schools. So, looking at the overall budgeting process, the board was heavily involved in the budget priority determinations this year. We held many public workshops and discussions regarding the different ideas that came forward. We know that we are not going to solve the compensation issues that were brought about from decisions that were made back in the late 2000s, 2008, 2009, frozen salaries, removal of steps, some of the things that state statute changed and forced us into a pay-for-performance mindset. We know we're not going to be able to square all that and bring everybody back to where they should be immediately. We can't do it with one stroke of the pen. There's just not money for that, recurring money for that. And it's not just teachers; it's everybody in the district. There's no doubt. To that end, we have a compensation study that we commissioned and will be hopefully delivered here by the end of the month. That will give us an idea, using like a gap analysis type mindset of where we know there's issues. We just don't know where those issues may overlap with other issues. And so if we fix one place, it may affect another place in compensation. And so we want to make sure we understand that before we put together the blueprint on how to fix it in the long term, because it's going to be a long-term process to get back to where we need to be and where our teachers and where our staff deserve to be fairly compensated for the great work that they do. So over the last few years, the board has been very proactive in attempting to at least try and make up some of it. If you look back over 4 years, the average raise to salary is just over 3%. If you look at cumulatively over the percentages over the last 4 years, which is better than other districts around us. But much of that happened early on, right when we came out of our recession, and some monies became available, and we dedicated that money directly to salaries, and at the expense of not addressing other items that also had been frozen or canceled that were affecting students as well. And so for this year, we made a very specific determination that we wanted to start picking a few of those things that we knew were critical to our students' achievement and success in the classroom, and start bringing those programs back online or expanding programs that may have been limited at that time.
Can you give me an example of that?
So the gifted program, perfect example. Ms. Deskovich is a big proponent of expanding that gifted program, and certainly it was one of those programs that the funding went away from. We limited it. Our gifted program kind of just, for lack of a better term, wallowed for a while. And so we felt that putting some dedicated funds towards it to improve the program, expand it across the district, make sure that every child that might be affected or might be benefited by that program has the opportunity to do so. I know we'll talk about the corridor busing or the expanded corridor busing, I think, a little bit later, but that's another example that we can get into later as well. Suicide awareness, Ms. Belford, Ms. Deskovich brought that to the table. It's a real issue in our district and in districts across the country, and we felt being proactive in providing budgeted money to proactive programs that go out into our schools to open the conversation was something that we needed to do. Social emotional stuff for our children as far as guidance counselors and literacy coaches that really attack the problems that are associated with third grade retention in the reading area, where we realize that children are not maybe reading at the level that they need to be, based on some of the retention percentages we see, not only in Brevard but across the state. And our strategic plan, Dr. Blackburn's strategic plan, is very specific about it, getting to the root cause of that before they hit that third grade milestone, so that we can put those coaches into schools and give teachers and give staff in individual schools the tool set that they need to help those children reach the levels and the milestones that they need to on the timeline that the state has asked us to do.
I wanted to get your quick reaction. We just have about a minute and a half left in this segment here to a couple of things that other guests have said on this program that they would love to see Brevard Public Schools do more of. Rita Pritchett, County Commissioner from Titusville, said she would love to see more job and career education in Brevard Public Schools. What do you make of that?
I think that is absolutely. Career and job skill training is something that we are heavily invested in. We continue to expand that program, those programs. The thing that I would change would be getting better access to all those programs. We have incredible programs across our county, but we're 72 miles long. And this board and this superintendent can't replicate each individual program up and down the county, but what we can do is provide access to the programs that do exist and give every child the opportunity to pursue the course of study, the opportunity, the training that they're interested in and that they believe is going to take them to the next level, whether that's a college, whether that's a job, whether that's a follow-on vocational training. There are some amazing opportunities in our school systems, and they're isolated geographically, but that doesn't mean we can't get those kids there to do that.
When we come back, Brevard Public Schools is reopening an old school in Titusville, only in a different fashion. We'll take a look.
Take the BPS CCU High School Mascot debit card anywhere, anyplace. Show your school spirit every time you use your card. Get your favorite BPS CCU High School Mascot debit card today by visiting any CCU branch. Learn more at ccuflorida.org/spirit.
Brevard Watch, I'm Matt Reed. My thanks to Community Credit Union for sponsoring today's program. My guest is School Board Chairman John Craig. Mr. Craig, thank you for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you, Matt.
You mentioned in the first segment that it was hard to get students to all these different vocational programs and career training programs that Brevard Public Schools offers. We're reopening a choice school in Titusville. One of the priorities for the school board this year was something that sounds kind of experimental, and it's something called choice regional busing. It sounds like the old corridor busing thing on steroids. How do you explain this to your constituents?
So, great question, because it is a little confusing sometimes. Are we bringing back corridor busing? Is this just for choice schools? No, we're not. What we're doing is providing access to the great programs that Brevard Public Schools has across the county to as many students as we can. One of my main concerns is not if a child whose parents decide to place them at a choice school is able to get there. Certainly that is, but it's not just choice schools. It's the aviation program at O'Galley High School. It's the Da Vinci engineering program at Merritt Island High School. It's these incredible standalone programs that exist inside of our schools that kids at other parts of the county may not have access to unless we can provide the transportation to it. Not every family has the ability to get their child to a school that may be 5, 10, 25 miles away. And what I see as a priority is the student, is providing the opportunity for that student to reach their full potential. And again, replicating the programs at every school is not an option. What is an option is ensuring that we give the opportunity to every student, no matter where they live or no matter what their socioeconomic background is, the opportunity to find that program that interests them, that they find success in, that they find a passion in, and I think this program is and I'm certainly hopeful that this program will do just that. We're utilizing some ideas and best practices from other counties that have done this and done it very well, and certainly there will be some tweaks along the way in how we schedule and how we move kids from one area to another. But in the long run, I think the access to our programs and our choice schools and our vocational programs is truly the choice that I think the state and our state legislatures are looking for. So being proactive and opening up that choice, because Brevard Public Schools are the best choice. We have the best programs in this county, and we prove that over and over again on individual school basis, and each of those schools are very proud of those programs, and well, they should be. What I want to make sure, this board wants to make sure, is that we offer up those opportunities to as many kids as we can, and get that passion moving inside of them, so that they find that thing that they can latch onto and then just take it as far as they can.
I speak frequently to the public, and during the Q&A sessions, it's probably the number one thing that I hear about is the job training, vocational career opportunities for kids. And I try to tell them there's an automotive program at Satellite High School. There's construction programs at 3 different schools.
Right.
It may be very expensive to buy more buses and recruit a number of bus drivers, which is always a difficult chore. But you got to compare that cost to spending $50 million on a vocational high school someplace.
Correct.
And you still have the challenge of people getting there in a county this big. So the idea is just to use the programs that we have, deliver the kids in as affordable way as we can.
Absolutely, and I will say that we've been very fortunate in bringing this transportation issue to our legislators. We were successful last year in getting the legislature to buy off on doing a transportation study statewide to look at just this issue, access to programs and access to the different opportunities that are located not only in Brevard but across the state. And so I'm very happy that Brevard, once again, is leading in this area because we see it as a need, and it truly is a need. It's not a want. It is necessary to get kids where they can best perform and where they can best learn, and that their interests and their passions are satisfied.
When we come back, how a city, school, and tourism leaders are teaming up on a cool project in Cocoa Beach.
I expect this school, South Lake Elementary, to be a model STEAM school in the state within the next 3 to 5 years.
The North area did not have a choice in the past, and as we did an analysis across the district, it was evident that we needed something of this kind for our northern residents.
As a North area resident, my child wanted to go to Choice, so we had to transport when my child wanted to go to Choice. So it's to bring that opportunity to every child.
A choice school requires an application. Once the applications are completed, we run a lottery, and the lottery then allows the students to attend based on seat capacity. I'm very excited that next year we will be implementing regional busing. Regional busing is an opportunity for parents to catch a zoned bus or a hub bus to get to a program opportunity that perhaps is not offered in their own backyard. So indeed, children will be able to access the program at South Lake by jumping on one of these buses.
So I met Jennifer when she was a science teacher at Challenger 7. And her love for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, we could not find a better candidate who embraces that love for the school.
Well, that's very exciting. The hiring process, we will start here actually soon. So every position needs to be hired. And so we're going from custodians to the front office clerks to the teachers.
So the teachers will go through the same transfer opportunity that they have at any other school. They'll apply for a transfer, they'll be interviewed, and then the selection will be made. But that will be in the district transfer window that follows the contract.
I'm hoping this summer to have a STEAM kickoff and having the campus available to where parents can come out, students, and take a tour so that it's not that first day of school that they're seeing it for the first time.
Many people believe that Titusville is kind of forgotten. We don't have all the opportunities. So bringing this to Titusville is a great advantage for our students. And I know that our parents are taking advantage. We're seeing the application tick up every day. And so we're going to hit the 300, I think, very easily.
My personal hope is that it will be a school in high demand because it's an exciting venue for students to learn. It is cutting edge. It will be 21st century skills. So it will get them excited about those areas, technology, engineering, arts, math, science, all of those things that the Space Coast wants to see in our students.
This is Brevard Watch. I'm Matt Reed. My thanks to Community Credit Union for sponsoring today's program. Again, my guest in the studio today is School Board Chairman John Craig. And Mr. Craig, I know that you've been involved in talks somewhat on something interesting going on in Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach High School, tourism people, the city are all kind of talking about an effort to put in a kayak or park, some sort of waterfront thing there in Cocoa Beach.
Correct.
Explain.
So this all came about from a extremely active community member, Dee Dee Sheffield. Her husband Harry was the former commanding officer of NO2 many years ago, Naval Ordnance Test Unit, retired Navy person, obviously. And Dee Dee had long looked at the area behind Cocoa Beach High School, and if people aren't familiar with that, there is a large area that is surrounded on water by three sides. There's a seawall that goes all the way around it. There's a bunch of practice fields, some of which are taken care of better than others. We do have some arrangements with the city of Cocoa Beach for some baseball fields that are there, a small skate park, but there's still a huge amount of this land that is just not being used the way that it probably could be. And so Dee Dee had gone out, Ms. Sheffield had gone out and started gauging some interest amongst different groups, including local universities, Florida Institute of Technology, Eastern Florida State College, UCF, as well as the Brevard Zoo and the TDC, to figure out how we might be able to put together a package or do something with this area that not only benefits the community and improves just the environmental aspect of this piece of land, but also gives students at the local schools an opportunity to maybe get into marine research and some other things. So what she has started has really taken legs now. We have a task force that is being run by the city of Cocoa Beach because it is in their area, and to be honest with you, the school system doesn't have the manpower to lead something like that. We have the property, and we're happy to be a partner in any way we can, but we feel it needs to be a true community effort to do so and to revamp this area. And so looking at a variety of options, there's a lot of things on the table. Making that waterfront area accessible to the public at the same time school's in session is a security issue, obviously, so we have some issues that we have to figure out with access. But what do we put along that waterfront? Do we put in a kayak or a rowing center? We have teams from all over the country that come to Brevard County and specifically the Banana River to practice their rowing during the spring. Right now, Brown University is sitting in Cocoa Beach and rowing every morning because this is such a great place to come and do that. And certainly they can't do it up north, so they come here. And so there's an opportunity for that. Marine research, sea turtle rescue, manatee rescue. The zoo's very interested. Brevard Zoo is a great conservation organization, and they have some great ideas on a necrophilia lab that could look at marine animals and do some work in that area, which would then include students from perhaps the high school and their marine research program that they have at Cocoa Beach High School already, or marine science program.
It's great though, because when you launch those even if it is a county or public waterfront, rowing, for example, schools have a way of launching clubs and teams,
Absolutely.
and it becomes a student enrichment activity.
It's a student
as well.
enrichment activity.
It's fitness.
So
I just think it's really cool the way, at least the concept of trying to develop some participant outdoor sports facilities as a way to draw more tourism, because local residents can benefit from it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brevard Zoo had a great idea. Keith Winston at the zoo said, "I love this idea." He goes, and in fact, there is a grant program in the United States that funds natural living seashores, they call it, living seashores, which allows the kids at the schools, both at Roosevelt in an elementary setting and at Cocoa Beach Junior Senior, to be participants in how they figure out and how to fix the seawall that's decaying and crumbling and allowing things to leak into the lagoon right now. We know we need to fix that. But what's the best way to do it? And these living seashores are certainly an opportunity, and there's tons of ways of doing it, which I had no idea there were. But this gives the grant allows those students to be participatory in that process and learn how to design their own environment. And it's just a great opportunity, I think, that it's a win-win for everybody.
You've been on the board, to switch subjects here, a big proponent of faith-based partnerships. Does it have something to do with your membership and your church?
Well, I am, and
it's
all of our business partners. But I do see, I'm a member of Georgiana United Methodist Church, and one of their things that they did early on was they adopted a school, and they adopted Cambridge Elementary School up in Cocoa. And it's not just adopting to say, we support you, but it is full in, where they are the church organization completely backs the school on anything they need. They are participatory in the classroom, so that we have mentors and people that come in every day that are involved in that school. And the partnership with that school and with those teachers and the leadership has led to just an amazing opportunity for both groups to be enriched from each other. What we saw what I saw was that this could be an opportunity to use something like that as a model to show other businesses and other organizations, whether faith-based or not, on how they could successfully and make an impact in a school. And many of our businesses are so wonderful in their support in both from services and from products and from other things that monetary things that they donate every single day. But oftentimes we don't close the loop on what that actually means inside that school and how it's benefiting a child or benefiting that school every single day. And so I'm very excited in the fact that we've really opened the doors. I know you all did a great video on the Georgiana-Cambridge partnership, and the response to that video has been amazing. I mean, we've had people from around the country email and go, "This is awesome. How do we do something like that? What's the blueprint that you use?" And there's no secret sauce or anything. It's just it's becoming dedicated and realizing what you can do to make an impact. And sometimes we just don't know it until both sides sit down at the table and, okay, what do you need?
Yeah.
What can we provide? And how do we do it on an ongoing and lasting basis so that it continues to make the impact that it is intended to do? And so I'm excited about that.
I think I know what the secret sauce is. And I think the pastor of Georgiana hinted at it in that report that we aired earlier. Lots of people volunteer for schools, but when a faith-based group does it, that volunteering and touching real children in your community is the Holy Spirit. Yep. That is a manifestation of their evangelical mission. And so it feeds your soul to do it. And when he said that he pointed out that many of our business partners for Brevard Public Schools were people who went to go to schools to volunteer as part of their church groups, fell in love with it, happened to also own businesses, and now they've stepped up and they're getting involved in new ways. I just think it's really neat.
Our business partners drive our schools. We could not do what we do without our business partners, and it doesn't matter if it's faith-based or business or individuals. Every single person who volunteers and walks into a school is a business partner. I mean, they are, because you're helping us shape the future, and it's really critical.
Well, that's our program. My thanks to School Board Chairman John Craig for joining us in the BPS TV studio. My thanks also to Community Credit Union for sponsoring today's program. Look for us next week on Spectrum Channel 496 or on YouTube, #BrevardWatch.
Take the BPS CCU High School Mascot debit card anywhere, anyplace. Show your school spirit every time you use your card. Get your favorite BPS CCU High School Mascot debit card today by visiting any CCU branch. Learn more at ccuflorida.org/spirit.
I expect this school, South Lake Elementary, to be a model STEAM school in the state within the next 3 to 5 years.
The North area did not have a choice in the past, and as we did an analysis across the district, it was evident that we needed something of this kind for our northern residents.
As a North area resident, my child wanted to go to Choice, so we had to transport when my child wanted to go to Choice. So it's to bring that opportunity to every child.
A choice school requires an application. Once the applications are completed, we run a lottery, and the lottery then allows the students to attend based on seat capacity. I'm very excited that next year we will be implementing regional busing. Regional busing is an opportunity for parents to catch a zoned bus or a hub bus to get to a program opportunity that perhaps is not offered in their own backyard. So indeed, children will be able to access the program at South Lake by jumping on one of these buses.
So I met Jennifer when she was a science teacher at Challenger 7. And her love for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, we could not find a better candidate who embraces that love for the school.
Well, that's very exciting. The hiring process, we will start here actually soon. So every position needs to be hired. And so we're going from custodians to the front office clerks to the teachers.
So the teachers will go through the same transfer opportunity that they have at any other school. They'll apply for a transfer, they'll be interviewed, and then the selection will be made. But that will be in the district transfer window that follows the contract.
I'm hoping this summer to have a STEAM kickoff and having the campus available to where parents can come out, students, and take a tour so that it's not that first day of school that they're seeing it for the first time.
Many people believe that Titusville is kind of forgotten. We don't have all the opportunities. So bringing this to Titusville is a great advantage for our students. And I know that our parents are taking advantage. We're seeing the application tick up every day. And so we're going to hit the 300, I think, very easily.
My personal hope is that it will be a school in high demand because it's an exciting venue for students to learn. It is cutting edge. It will be 21st century skills. So it will get them excited about those areas, technology, engineering, arts, math, science, all of those things that the Space Coast wants to see in our students.